my perspective is that it's only going to be as healthy as the individual doing it, and that's true for kind of any athletic or workout regimen. Is that there's always going to be those that overtrain and overdo, and end up injuring themselves because of that. Some of the high-level athletes that I take care of, it's just they've done too much. They didn't listen to their body. They didn't rest and recover, and so that's where the injuries start showing up. The competitive nature of CrossFit, that's where it's going to lead to that overtraining syndrome, because they're driven to try and achieve a personal best. That the overtraining leads to the body's inability to continue to respond to the stresses that are put on it, and so things start to break down. There's always going to be that one that just is always pushing it too much, too far, and doesn't even listen to the coach, doesn't listen to the trainer, because they're just going to do what they want to do because they have a schedule to meet, and so they just won't listen to the body and won't shut down when they need to shut down and recover when they need to recover, and that sets them up for an injury. There's techniques of monitoring your whether you're overtrained or not, and, taking your heart rate in the morning, things that nature. There's simple things, and checking your hydration status, and so there's signs where if you're not sleeping well, if there's all kinds of signs that you're overtrained, and taking downtime is critical.
A form of exercise is like a very, very high intensity. Tests all kind of your basic skills of like power, flexibility, stamina, endurance, strength, just to kind of put your body into very uncomfortable state, but teach your body to be able to move through that uncomfortable state. It's like a pain management. Like, what can you endure? What can you get yourself through? People have new challenges every single time they come in the door, so they're constantly getting personal records and setting personal bests on how much they can lift or how fast they can move. People have jokingly said it's a fad. When will the CrossFit fad play out? I don't necessarily think it's a fad. It's a good community, so people find a purpose of being at the gym. So even if they're not competitive, they find a way to be competitive for themselves or somebody of a similar skill set as they are. So they'll come into the gym and they'll see, Susie came in at the 5 p.m. class and I'm at the 6 p.m. class. What did Susie do? I want to go after her score. So I think the competitive drive is kind of what took off for CrossFit. And it was a way for people to get healthy. So it's kind of like a win-win situation for that. I'm one that constantly battles injury myself. If you do things incorrectly, you can absolutely get hurt. It fries your nervous system, and that can be disadvantageous. It can cause injury, but it's more about teaching your body the right form. If you can put your body in the right position, then it's really just mind over matter kind of thing. Like if you can continue to push, and that's what the injuries were coming from. There's just tight muscles. They would work out and beat the crap out of their body, and then there was no recovery. A lot of injuries come from people just really being lazy. They don't want to do the warm-up, they just hop right in it. You just have to figure out, is the risk worth the reward for what you want to push for? I don't know about the risk being higher. I think the bar is constantly shifting. In CrossFit, there's no really relaxing. Like when you hit the top spot, there's always somebody chasing, there's always somebody doing something more complicated. The bar is moving, and it does force your higher competitive athletes to push the risk factor a little bit more, but it's really up to them about their proper nutrition, proper sleep, proper mobility. Like if you do all those things right, you're going to be able to compete for a long time. If you don't do that right, you're going to be banged up, and if you don't figure out how to hit the brakes, what's too much, what's not enough, it can get after it. People need to manage an off season. Some people don't do that well. Some people just go all out all year round, and at some point it's going to catch up to your body. I don't see it slowing down within the next 5 to 10 years. In what direction it goes, up or down, really depends on what happens when it's in the limelight. So if everybody's going to see it, it's got to be crisp, it's got to be good, and it's got to be highly competitive. I think our community aspect of this is just really, really huge. People just want to be here even when they're not working out. The best part about CrossFit and this community specifically is somebody will cheer just as hard for you being first place as they would for you being dead last. It's like a little family. Like they're just so excited to just bring somebody in. Like, yes, like join our community, join our family.